Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a Walking Dead Season 6 type of video. In this one I'm going to be explaining who is probably the biggest villain in the Walking Dead series, even bigger than the Governor, and that is soon to come in the TV series, probably Season 6, maybe Season 7, most likely 6. That is Negan. Okay, so in terms of an actual Walking Dead lead villain, so to speak, that could be kind of the opposite of Rick, most people, they would think of the Governor as kind of the opposite or the antithesis of Rick. But when you look at the long stream of The Walking Dead, Negan is actually in the series for longer. He actually has more issues, and he's just had more time all around than the Governor did. So the purpose of this video is basically to explain for you guys who watch the TV series, who kind of want to know, have not really read the comic book series, who the character is. Not necessarily for my subscribers that have read the comic book series, although if you want to hear what I think about Negan, you can stay. You're welcome to stay as well. So Negan is introduced into the Walking Dead comic book series in issue 100, and he is introduced as the leader of a new group who we are encountering in the series. Probably sometime late season 6 or midway through, somewhere around that time, we'll start to kind of hear about this, or we'll see something. And the name of the group is called the Saviors. As you can see from the covers here, brilliantly drawn, of course, by Charlie Adler. Awesome, just really, really cool covers. I still love them even to this day, even though it's not fresh or brand new. There we have Negan at the bottom left, and then we have a lot of his men. You've got 5 of his, I would say, not lieutenants, but stronger or tougher type of saviors with him. He has a very impressive and very scary group by itself, and basically, as you can see here, we've got one guy's got a chainsaw, another guy with an axe, another guy with a sledgehammer, machete, which we've seen in the TV series quite a bit, and then we have Dwight in the middle bottom there with a crossbow. Yes, a lot of similarities to Daryl, if you didn't already catch on to that, if you don't know who Dwight is. Feel free to look into that as well too. You can check the videos on the channel, I've got lots of them. So there is his saviors in terms of manpower, in terms of count. He has about 100 survivors on his side living, so his group is huge compared to anything Rick has faced before. It is humongous. In terms of his strategy, or how they basically survive in the zombie apocalypse, it's pretty unique. It's also not like anything else we've seen before. What he does is, because he has such a strong group of survivors of, close to 100 people, most of which are fighters, with a few, people mixed in there that aren't, but most of which are fighters with quite a bit of, hand-to-hand type weapons, used to killing walkers, used to intimidating and using their power, using their force and their brute strength to survive. Basically, what he has come up with, or the way that they're able to survive, is they bully or they force other communities to pay up to them. So Negan, for example, will pretty much tell a group, you either pay us half of what you have in terms of food, in terms of resources, in terms of weapons, medicine, whatever they need to survive. You give us half, and we'll let you live, and we'll clear out walkers for you, so we'll keep you relatively safe. So that's basically their strategy of how they survive, is they get their supplies from others, from other big groups that just quite simply know they cannot mess with Negan and the Saviors. They're far too strong, far too powerful to challenge. Well, that is, of course, until Rick arrives and sort of combines these different communities in which Negan is intimidating into paying up to him, and we have the events of the story arc of All Out War. In addition to All Out War, he has been a heavy concentration, or heavily involved with 6 trades or 6 story arcs since his arrival in Something to Fear issue 100, also What Comes After, March to War, All Out War Part 1, All Out War Part 2, and a new beginning, and that's just so far. In terms of personality, Negan does have a very interesting and unique personality for the Walking Dead world. He's not like the governor in almost any way, shape, or form, where the governor is very serious, very much a thinker, and very calculated. Negan, to me, seems a lot more reckless. He's a lot more goofy. He's a lot more, I don't want to say twisted, because the governor's twisted too, but he's just got his really own kind of goofy, silly way of handling things, a really goofy, silly type of personality based on the type of position he's in as the leader of this huge group. He has a constant swearing issue. He's got quite the potty mouth. He likes to he's got this thing with the F word. He can't say the F word enough, and it's quite funny. In addition to that, he has his own baseball bat, or his own weapon of choice, equivalent of Rick's python, the equivalent of Daryl's crossbow, so to speak, and that is a baseball bat, which he has nicknamed Lucille, and he calls her a vampire bat. Vampire suck the life out of you, that kind of thing. He basically has a huge baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire, and he uses it to smash people's heads in. And he does so in issue 100, killing one of the most prominent members of the Walking Dead storyline thus far, being one of the biggest deaths in the series thus far, to sort of teach Rick a lesson not to mess with him and to pay up and not to screw around, basically. So he is a very interesting character in terms of personality. He is an interesting character in terms of how he survives, what his group is about, what they do, because we haven't seen anything like him up until this point, sort of a zombie apocalypse mob boss, so to speak, that forces people to pay up or pay the price. So he is quite the awesome villain, definitely something to look forward to for The Walking Dead Season 6. Season 7, heck, probably through all the way to like Season 10 or 11 or 12 or something of the sort, depending on when they actually bring him into the show based on, timing and how much things they put in between. But in terms of the comic book series version of the character versus the comic book series version of the governor, I personally like Negan better. We'll have to see how he turns out in the TV series, how much fun he is, how AMC handles him, because, of course, he can't really swear. He can't say the F word on, cable TV, that kind of thing. So will they bleep it out? Will they have him say something different? I guess we'll have to see how that goes. And also, we don't officially know yet, this is a common question, of who is going to play Negan. It was reported that Kevin Durand was offered the role or approached about the position, but then afterwards, he had wrote on his Twitter that that's not true, that he was actually not approached. So they could just be kind of trying to keep it hush-hush, or, maybe he really wasn't. So at this time, we don't know, 100% who's going to actually be Negan. There's lots of great choices, and I'll put the link in the description to my video giving my thoughts on who should play the character. But I will say, as great as Kevin Durand is, and I will be happy if he's the one chosen because he does look a lot like Negan, I don't think you've got a better choice out there in the world probably than Bruce Campbell, because of course he, of his experience in the Evil Dead series, he's helped build the zombie apocalypse genre. He can also play that goofy side extremely well, obviously, with all of his movies he's been in. And he looks a lot like him, same hair color. Maybe have to dye his hair because he's getting a bit older now, but he looks a lot like him, and also, of course, can play the more serious side too. So I'll have to see who gets cast as him. I'm hoping it'll be either Bruce Campbell, Kevin Durand, Vinnie Jones, somebody like that would be great. But yeah, check out the other video if you guys are interested in hearing more of my thoughts on who should play him. And let me know what you guys think about the character if you've read the comic book series. Try to keep it spoiler free for those who don't know. But write it in the comments below. Write a little bit about what you think of the villain, if you think he's the best villain in The Walking Dead, if you think the governor's better, or maybe one of the other villains we've seen along the way, as there have been quite a few now up until this to this point. For me, he is my favorite Walking Dead comic book series villain, and I can't wait to see how they show him in the TV series. If they do him justice and they pick the right person, he should be the quintessential or the best Walking Dead villain overall, just so long as they do him justice, I would have to say. So that's it. If you guys like the video, please do me a favor. Please thumb it up below. If you want to help support the channel, please share it. Tell someone else about it. Favorite it if you wouldn't mind. And if you're new to the channel, you want to subscribe, you want to get these videos daily in your subscriber feed. It's real easy. All you got to do is click subscribe. And yeah, that's it for this one, guys. See you tomorrow for another. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace.